We're officially on chapter 4 of the Medical Medium Brain Saver. This chapter is titled Blood Draining Agenda. Hi, I'm Sequoia, and this is Simply Sequoia. Let's get into the read. Working on your healing process while trying to live your life is difficult when you're encountering stressful situations, pollution, chemicals, and other environmental disturbances and exposures every day, including exposures to the many sources of toxic heavy metals and pathogens. There are numerous obstacles in the way of healing, and those obstacles are hard enough. Trying to heal is difficult all on its own. Then there are obstacles in medical treatments and testing that are never accounted for or considered. These obstacles can interfere with someone's healing and recovery or with staying healthy and strong. Neurological symptoms especially can create the most mystery, which leads to more testing, which in turn leads to a greater drain on someone's system. Blood tests are at the top of the list for being a drain on the brain. Literally draining all body systems of the blood that's critically needed to keep your balance and stable. With sickness and death rising to levels we've never seen before in history, blood tests are going to be administered more than ever before in history. We all find common ground into getting our blood tests. It's a window into picking up important clues so your doctor can keep an eye out for your best interests with whatever condition you're struggling with, or perhaps you're just fine and the testing is intended to confirm that. At the same time, blood testing comes with tremendous pitfalls, from problematic to life-threatening if we don't approach it with our proper awareness. One pitfall is that many people have mystery symptoms and yet their blood work is normal, healthy, and stable. Because most chronic illness conditions are not detectable through blood work. I'm going to underline that because I think that's something we don't know as a society. Most chronic illness conditions are not detectable through blood work. For the other pitfalls of blood testing, keep reading. With any condition, it's important to bring awareness to the limitations of the tools we're using to diagnose and treat the illness. For anything that's brain-related, that's especially true with diagnostic and treatment tools having even more potential to be compromising. And did you know our immune system is in our blood? So anytime you get blood drawn, you're taking immune system. Immune system is how we fight sickness and disease. So you're literally taking away some of the immune system. Not meant to go to waste. A major aspect of blood testing that's overlooked in the health industry is excessive blood draw and wastage. Our blood is treated like it's disposable. It's not respected. When someone gets a blood test, there's always too much blood drawn for what's being tested, and blood ends up discarded and thrown away as though our blood is not actually a valuable resource. No one questions it. No one questions the excessive amount of blood taken from the human body of someone who's in a weakened state. No one questions where the extra blood goes that's not being used. We're even told it's healthy for a body to get our blood drawn. What? I didn't know people thought this. That it clears up our blood, that fresh blood is produced, as if this is a good thing. We're told our blood is refillable practically instantly. We're told everything will be back to normal almost right away. They act like our blood is refillable within minutes or hours. It's not that easy. Just because you add water to your bloodstream by drinking fluid and work on boosting your blood sugar by eating some form of sugar doesn't mean your blood is back to normal. It could take weeks or even months to restore. A fraction of the blood taken for blood test is used for the test itself. The blood that's left is discarded. Meanwhile, the person is in a more weakened, vulnerable state because they lost blood that was treated as disposable. Then, just as that person starts to regain a little strength as they rebuild their blood, another test is being ordered and the drain happens all over again. This happens for most patients without a clue about what's really taking place and how the system is broken when it comes to blood tests and blood draws. If you're someone who's battling a chronic illness, more blood draws can lead to more weakened condition. The sicker you become, the more blood gets drawn, and the more frequently the blood gets drawn. It becomes a vicious cycle, worsening your condition more. Critical immune system knowledge. There's a theory going around that your immune system is all in your gut. There's no accuracy to it, no science behind this to factually determine that your immune system is in your gut. It's an alternative medicine theory that is considered pseudoscience by conventional medicine. In this case, conventional medicine is right. It is pseudoscience. The pseudoscience aligns with what probiotic companies want us to think. We getting into it. Once you look into things, you see who owns what companies. You start to put the pieces to the puzzle. You do. Gut health product companies want you to believe your immune system is all in your gut. And to the alternative medicine world and even a portion of the conventional medicine world now trying to understand why people are truly sick, the theory seems plausible. Our immune systems are in our guts, and that's the reason everyone is suffering with their health. It sounds like it makes sense. When they say your immune system is in your gut, they're claiming that the microorganisms sitting inside your intestinal tract and your intestinal tract lining are your immune system. That's where the misconception gets pretty wonky and points to the bigger issue. Gut health products from probiotic companies are claiming you improve your immune system by installing these microorganisms in your gut. Trouble is, microorganisms in probiotics are not immune cells. Good bacteria in your gut are not immune cells. Good bacteria in your gut do not create or feed immune cells. Good bacteria in your gut do not keep immune cells healthy. Besides, the majority of your body's actual immune cells are not sitting inside your intestinal tract along your gut's microorganisms. Yes, the largest portion of your immune system is in your torso because the majority of your body is in your torso. Just because your immune system is within your midsection, though, does not mean your immune system is centered in your intestinal tract. Alternative medicine and even now conventional medicine, a little bit, are confused about this and conditioning everybody that the majority of your immune system is in your gut, meaning your intestinal tract, and that probiotic companies will help you rebuild your immune system by providing microorganisms. The whole concept is grossly mistaken. Ask yourself this: if your immune system really is all in your gut and not in your blood system throughout your body, why do they measure your immune system counts through blood tests? The doctors aren't taking a stool sample every time you visit to measure your quantities of immune cells. They're measuring your immune cells by doing a complete blood count, a CBC, through your blood. It goes to show how much confusion there is in this area and how the theory that your immune system is in your gut doesn't hold up once you start to examine it. The reality is that the majority of your immune system is in your bloodstream, what I just said earlier. so that your brain doesn't take on an infection. Your bloodstream is patrolled by your immune cells systematically looking for potential invaders, so those invaders don't get to your brain or your heart. Your brain and heart are two top dogs that your immune system is looking out for. Plus, your immune system has to cover your lungs, pancreas, kidneys, spleen, and more. The majority of your immune cells are not sitting inside your intestinal tract, mingling with probiotics and microorganisms looking for invaders. The majority of your immune cells are in your blood, your bloodstream, and your blood vessels all throughout your entire body. Your lymphatic system also carries a large portion of your immune system, and your lymphatic system wraps around the organs of your torso, including your chest and abdomen. This does not mean your immune system is sitting inside of your gut. A portion of your immune system also resides inside your liver and spleen, although that's not to be confused with the theory that your immune system is centered in your intestinal tract either. The liver and spleen are not part of that equation. You can't live without your brain. You can't live without your heart. You can live with most of your intestinal tract gone and still have a strong immune system, because without your intestinal tract, you can still have most of your lymphatic system, and you can still have your bones producing a variety of immune cells for your blood. So your bloodstream is where the majority of the immune system lies. If it weren't, then blood infections would be the #1 cause of death at this point. As blood tests are ordered for you, more blood than necessary is removed, which means a large portion of your immune system is removed every time you go and get your blood drawn. And if you're someone who's sick, removing any portion of your immune system can make you more susceptible to anything from a relapse to worsening of old symptoms to coming down with new symptoms. Doctors don't have time or energy or awareness to single out tests and space them out, drawing smaller amounts of blood over multiple visits to cover different areas of blood tests. They like to get it all in one swoop, especially when you're sick with a condition. Oftentimes, more than 3 vials of blood are drawn at a time, normally 5 to 7. In many cases, 14 to 30 or more vials. This should all be reconsidered. Part of the reason why the areas of blood testing, blood drawn, and the immune system are so void of knowledge, void of understanding, and lacking information is because, once again, medical research and science don't know why people are sick. They don't know. It's a total confusion world out there. That's why all autoimmune disease is listed as cause unknown. And then theories such as it's all genes and your body's attacking itself are thrown into the mix, or the newer ones, you're creating it with your thoughts and you're not really sick, which is now being adopted by the conventional medical world as an option. Why don't they seem to care as they're removing your immune system? Well, they're not really thinking about it that way. Not even doctors realize the immune system's being removed every time you get a blood draw. It's not even on their radar. And why is it critical to realize that the immune system is being removed during the blood draw? If medical research and science knew why people are sick, which is low-grade and high-grade viral infections such as Epstein-Barr virus causing chronic illness and dozens of autoimmune diseases, maybe they would think twice about removing your immune system, the very line of defense that keeps the viral infections from getting worse. Indeed, viral infections are getting worse in patients who are getting blood drawn, especially excessive amounts of blood, sometimes landing them in bed permanently, whereas before they were fatigued and struggling, yet functioning. That's because as you get sicker, the protocol is to draw more blood. In the quest to find answers, you have to go to the hospital again, see another specialist. The sicker you are, the less functional you are, the more blood is drawn on the search for the problem. It's not unusual to get 100 vials drawn within a 6-month period. After another blood draw from the 5th specialist, you could end up in bed indefinitely. There's no spotlight on this, yet it happens every day. Blood draws accelerate the aging process because they draw from the body's reserves. The more blood taken, the more quickly someone ages. Let me underline that, because aging is like a huge thing right now. People don't want to age, yet they're doing all this pro-aging strategies. They're eating these pro-aging foods, putting these pro-aging cosmetics on them. Pro tip, if it says anti-age cream, no. I get told all the time that I look way younger than I am, and I don't put anything on my face. Just the other day, this woman, she's an esthetician. She does facials. She goes, "Oh my gosh, what do you do for your skincare routine?" I said, "Nothing." She's like, "What? Just like soap?" And I was like, "No, not even soap. I don't do anything to my face. I literally, whenever I shower, I just like rinse my face. That's all I do." But really, what it comes down to, it's not what you put on your skin, it's what you put inside your body. That's what it is. I told her, I said, it's the nutrients that I put in my body. And she goes, "What do you eat?" And I said, "Fruits and vegetables." And she said, "Oh, yeah, a lot of people don't want to do that." It's a lifestyle change. Removing large amounts of blood, especially when done frequently, drains the body of its life force, putting a strain on every organ in the body. Medical research and science don't know exactly how much blood can be drained out of someone before they die. Well, that's comforting. Everyone has a different strength and limitation. The accuracy of how much blood is appropriate to take is still theoretical and debatable among medical communities, which means it's more important than ever to be cautious about how much blood is removed during blood draws and blood donations. Irresponsible blood draw has led to millions of premature deaths. It's a slow death. It can be years of blood draws and chronic illness until you're pushed over the edge and your disease takes over. A plain old blood draw, as it's practiced today, can be enough to act as a trigger for worsening illness. If someone has chronic illness, they are already weakened and their immune system is already fighting battles. Battles that are not seen by a microscope. Battles that are not seen by medical testing. That's why chronic illness is still a mystery. These battles your immune system is fighting are a large part of why you're sick. Your immune system is exhausting reserves to try to defend you as it keeps low-grade and high-grade viral infections as well as bacterial infections under control while also battling exposure from toxins. Then comes the blood tests. A metabolic panel, thyroid panel, CBC, hormone panel, nutritional deficiencies, and more. And now you're in it for 5, 10, 12, maybe 14 or more vials of blood. And in all that blood, your immune cells get stolen from your body, not taken in a mindful or respectful way. This places immense stress upon your bone marrow because your bone marrow has to go into overdrive, burning out its reserves to replace your missing immune system. If they need all that blood to run a test, it would be one thing. Even then, it should be done differently. yet they don't need all that blood. Most of the blood drawn is unneeded, so it's thrown away or used in experimental testing for possibly nefarious reasons. This is an antiquated system left unchecked and unbalanced, just like other corruption in our system today, like so many outdated techniques and bodies of medical hierarchy. That's it for today. We're going to get more in detail on the next reading about blood draw and what they're doing. Much love and happy healing. Bye.